All right, let's see. All right, guys, I think we're live. We'll wait for everyone to show up. There's always a bit of a latency. Before we get kicked off, if you guys can hear me and see me, let me know in the chat. Just put where you're located in the chat, say Detroit or Wisconsin or whatever, just so I know people are here. Looks like it's showing 9 people right now. Put something in the chat, just so I know you guys can see me and hear me. We were having some technical difficulties before. As you guys know, we like to do these once a month. I think we missed our call in December. But it's just kind of our monthly check-in. It's a time for us to all hang out, honestly, like Kyle, Ryland, and myself. And then you guys get to tag along. I like to just kind of shoot the breeze, hang out, talk about what's in the pipeline, what we're working on, talk about some land investing themes that we're seeing this year. So this is going to be a call that kind of bobs and weaves and covers a whole bunch of different areas. But I think it'll be valuable for everyone at home. Kyle, Ryland, how are you guys?
Doing good. Just got home from the gym.
Yeah, you're looking bigger.
Thanks.
In a good way.
Like this now.
You got swollen lat syndrome.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, on the camera.
Maybe more like phantom lat syndrome.
You're gonna start walking like Sumner real soon.
Yeah, good luck. Ryland, you look smaller though. I don't know. I was.
No, come on. I'm shredded right now.
I don't know, dude. You guys should see all the inappropriate photos Ryland has been sending us with his all guys trip in Australia, down under, if you know what I mean.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they got some that's a lot of time on their hands. I'll just tell you that much. But anyways, good to see everyone. All right, sounds like they can hear us. Cool. What we're gonna do before we pop off in here, 2 cool things actually. We're testing a new concept kind of kicking off this month. So we're giving away 1,000 hot seller leads for free, entirely for free. And what we're doing is we're going to go and actually pick you a market, hand select you a market through Land Insights. We'll go pull the data, scrub the data, and give you a curated list of at least 1,000 leads. Could be substantially more, to be honest. And in that process, we'll walk you through the platform. We'll show you the play-by-play, and you'll leave with 1,000 plus free leads. So I think the concept here is we obviously want to expose people to the craziness of Land Insights, and those that know, they know it's incredible. But I'm going to bait you to get on a call. But I think there's some fair reciprocity there. For your time, at the very least, you're going to walk away with 1,000 plus free curated leads. Like these are leads that you'd actually want to buy those properties. There's 2 kind of forms of seller qualification that I think about. I think about one is the property qualified. So these are all qualified properties. Is a seller qualified, which we can't predict that right now. Maybe down the line, we'll have something to do that. So go to landinsights.co/apply, and you guys will get these 1,000 plus free seller leads. The other thing, in the name of innovation, we're trying something new on the Leah side as well. For this month, folks that book a call on the Leah side are going to get access to one of our Monday coaching calls live and in person. That's the coaching call that I run. We went 4 hours on the coaching call this Monday. Typically, I'd say we go about 3 hours. You'll learn a heck of a lot. You'll get a really good pulse on how Leah is run. And so go down there. We'll give you access to that coaching call. And, you know, I just want to touch on a few things. There's been a lot of stuff that's been shared recently inside the Leah group and inside Land Insights users. I just want to touch on before we kick off, because you might need a little dose of motivation moving into the new year. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening. First off, I got a text yesterday from a Leah member and a Land Insights user that they're going to clear $400,000 in gross profit this month. They run the business part-time, been using Land Insights for maybe 3 months, been in Leah for 1.5 years, 400K 1 month. Would that change your life? Yeah, that would change your life for sure. So yeah, a couple really cool stuff, cool things that have been shared in here. Matt Burrows, this is a great example of someone that's just taking this business at their own pace, running it very part-time. He's been traveling across the country for the last few years selling rugs. He sells these beautiful rugs. In fact, he mailed me a rug, mailed Sarah a rug. He's been in Leah for probably coming up on 2 years. He just cleared $140,000 in profit since his first campaign went out last April. What's funny is it took him about 1 year to get his first campaign out. Guy's super methodical, steady Eddie, runs it very, very part-time. And it's just cool. Like you could be like the other guy, which I won't name his name, keep him anonymous unless he wants to share those big numbers, that makes $400K in a month. Or you could be very part-time and make $140,000 in What's the math in that, Kyle? 8 months? Yeah, 8 months since your first mailing campaign. We got Mike V. Mike V is about 8 months, maybe 9 months in, $300,000+ in profit. Just a lot of really cool stuff being shared in here. So I highly recommend go pop in here, look at these recent wins. If you guys want to be able to build a land business that produces results like this, go to landinvestor.co/apply. We'll chat. We'll show you the coaching call. It'll give you a good pulse on how we run things. And we're working on something special for folks inside of Leah as it relates to Land Insights. Maybe we'll touch on that here today. All right, guys, let's just quickly, before we talk about Land Insights, I just want to do a quick pulse on the land business side of things. Rylan, how have things been going for you in the land business? Started 2025. You seeing anything out there? Anything you want to touch on?
So we had like 2 dead weeks. So during New Year's, so between Christmas and New Year's, we had like a horrible week. I just told my team, like, take 2 days off because nobody was picking up the phone. We weren't getting any contracts. Everything was dead. So I was like, guys, just take the rest of the week off. And then we started, I think, let me look at the calendar. We ramped back up on the 2nd of the month. I ended up just telling them to take the 1st off. So we started the year off without even working. I think a lot of people would have contradictory thoughts on that. So we started on the 2nd. The rest of that week wasn't great. I think we got 1 or 2 contracts between Thursday and Friday of last week. And then this week we've been cranking. So there's like a lot of leads that we were working towards like the end of December that just were stagnant. They weren't moving at all. And then everything's starting to move this week. So we've had a really good week. We're averaging 2 contracts a day since Monday. I just met with my acquisition manager, who's like also managing our acquisitions team right now. So things are cranking right now. In terms of sales, yes, some of our sales were slow, but we're starting to get offers coming through over the last week. But definitely, like, that was our slowest week within the last 12 months, was between Christmas and New Year's. So things slowed down, but that's totally normal.
Yeah.
And things are looking good now. So we're cranking as always.
You said you're doing 2 contracts a day. Just to clarify that you're not closing on those 2 contracts, so just 2 signed and
signed PAs. Yeah.
How many contracts are you guys acquiring or moving forward with per month?
It's probably like 30 to 40% of our contracts are going through. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, I'm not tracking necessarily KPIs for our closed PAs because it's mixed between double closes, seller finance, and normal purchase agreements. There's a deal every once in a while that maybe we can't get funding for, or I don't want to fund it myself, or there's a double close that's just been sitting on the market forever and it's not selling, and we just decide to pass up on it. So usually what I'm tracking is just signed PAs and closed properties per month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll touch on it, and then Kyle, you can share what you told me in Slack earlier this morning about something exciting that you're treating yourself to. So yeah, dude, I think it's funny. Every time I get on these calls, we sell deals. I have no idea why. We literally just got an offer. It's an owner finance offer. Bought it for 6. It's 3 parcels. It looks like they made us an offer. We'll probably make 25 grand on it. $400 a month for 50 months plus a down payment. So Dispo's been so-so. I think we probably sold 3 properties so far this month. Acquisitions has been insane. We're at 9 signed contracts so far, and probably like $600,000 to $700,000 in acquisition price. Most of those are cash closes, not a lot of double closes. Some bigger deals in there. So yeah, things are cranky on the acquisition side. Decent month in December on acquisition. I mean, it's definitely slow, but decent. I think we ended up with like 7 contracts signed. Super slow on the dispo side. But I think this is going to be our best year yet. We've really been working pretty hard the last 3 months, growing the team, laying the foundations. I've been spending an unbelievable amount of time just on the acquisition side, both reworking some of our process, a lot of sales training, acquisition training. We'll talk more about what I think is going to be like the needle mover this year for a lot of folks on this call. But I think it's going to be a gangbusters year. Again, like whether you like Trump or not, I think this guy's about to make this business pop the F off this year. I can just feel it. There's just like something in the air. It feels like it's going to be a good year. Kyle, what about you, man? I know you said you are gifting yourself something pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, since the election, I feel like things are going to be fairly liquid. We'll put it that way. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm buying a Rolex at some point.
Nice.
I just hit up Gary, and he sent me like maybe something a little bit outside my price range. Sorry, Gary.
What did he send you? What did he send you, Kyle?
He sent me a Breitling, but
don't buy a Breitling. Please don't buy a Breitling.
I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah. It's
I'm
Rolex. It's AP. Yeah, sorry. You got a few options. But
No, there's IWC is a good one. There's like a Yachtmaster that looks really sick. It has like a revolving globe. That looks pretty cool. But to be honest, I'm probably gonna get like a date just two-tone blue dial is what looks good to me. So something like that. Jerry's typing to me right now. Okay, so Jerry said I sent you an AP, Kyle. So all right. Oh, you did.
I'm in the market for a new watch right now as well. I think I'm going to get an AP. But Kyle, I've got an amazing AD in Vegas. I know some people don't mind buying secondhand, and there's a time and a place. But I definitely, for most things, especially for if there's an investment angle, I like buying from the AD because you'll walk out with 20% right off the top on it. So I can get you with her if you want. And she'll get you a watch fast.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to talk to her.
Yeah, I'll send you her number. I mean, again, you can always buy secondhand off market like Rylan did, and you'll get it. You can get it in 2 days with our guy if you want to use the same person, or you can use Jerry. And they are freaking mint. But I don't know. I like getting a good deal, man. I like buying a little under what I could flip it for if I wanted to.
It's the whole thing. And today we just accepted an offer on a double close. We bought it. We got it under contract at 170, and it was listed at 215. And then there's a bidding war, and the offer came in at 237. So we're gonna make like 49K on that deal.
Nice.
So that one was a surprise, and we had a closing today. I just made like 12K on that one.
Nice.
I kind of want to like think about deals in terms of how many Rolexes I can buy.
Yeah.
Like 2 Rolexes, 3 Rolexes. I'm just kidding. But
yeah,
we'll start with one.
I always track based on how many Raytheon salaries I make.
Yeah. That's
it's like, oh, I made a Raytheon salary today. That's nice. My old job that I denied and did the land business instead.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, congrats, Kyle. You'll have to share a picture once you get one inside Discord. Well, do you guys have any big bold predictions for the land business this year before we move into land insight stuff?
Yeah, I think things are getting more sophisticated. I think, I mean, people are starting to scrub. People are trying to find advantages that AI is unlocking. I think this is kind of the year of AI and robotics. As much as last year felt like that, I feel like this next year is really going to be a game changer in terms of just like AI and, all the different things. Like there's like Grok, there's like ChatGPT, there's Claude, there's Gemini, there's all these different things out there. And I want to leverage a lot of that stuff inside of Land Insights in terms of just like bringing those technologies in to the platform in ways that would benefit land investors. But I just think, it's just going to get more competitive over time and more sophisticated. So, and I also think the markets are more optimistic, which is great on the dispo side.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, dude, I actually have kind of an interesting opinion. I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but I think there's, like any business, there's years that kind of go through and prune some of the not so great investors or operators or whatever. And I think that there was some pruning done in 2024. I don't know if you guys would agree, but I've seen a lot of folks like drop their business, rejig their business, move on to weird new strategy. Like, I don't know. I think there's some people got removed this year, which I'm curious to see how that affects things. Also, just in general, looking at like our LEA statistics for everything, like the interest in the land business in 2024 was down relative to 2023 by a pretty good clip. So I found that interesting as well. So I don't know. I really don't think that competition has skyrocketed. In fact, maybe it got pruned a little bit 2024. But what I do believe is people are the same people that have been in the business for 5 years or 6 years, or people like me or whatever it may be. They're getting better. And that's really who you're competing with. You're not competing with the new investor who just joined LEA last month. I'm sorry, you're not a threat yet. Maybe later. But you're competing with someone like Rylan, who's progressively raising the skill bar year after year, or whoever it may be. And so I think we're seeing that. I don't know. Would you agree, Rylan?
Yeah, it's like I have the power of hundreds of new investors. It's like you're not competing against the new guys. You're competing with the guys who are so skilled and have spent so many years adapting and building out like the best system possible with the large team. So like you're really competing with probably 100 to 200 really good land investors. Mm-hmm. So it's about like learning how to adapt and build the best system possible, because we're like integrating AI, we're integrating scrubbing features, we're doubling down on our marketing. We have such a bigger marketing budget than everybody else. So it's not about the new people you have to worry about. It's about the people that are so fucking skilled at this business. So like my prediction is that, yes, there's optimism in the business, but everybody's progressing. Technology is getting better. So it's about adapting and being super efficient with your marketing spend and being able to scale that business so that you can compete with the big dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would agree. I think of the counterpoint that's exciting for new people is it's actually never been easier to start a land business, ever. Like the turn time to go and get your first deal has never been, like the learning curve's never been so approachable. And so that is exciting. But if you want to be in the upper echelons and really do well, that skill bar is getting raised. Like you could go and make $40,000 a year in this business with land insights and like a rough breakdown on how to run this thing, like pretty much with your eyes closed. But you want to go make 400,000 or 4 million, I think you're really starting to feel the skill bar getting raised there, which, to be honest, I know everyone wants to talk about AI and these cool tools, and that stuff is awesome. But none of that, in my opinion, for the most part, can surpass pure skill in managing a team, namely a sales team. Like I've just seen it play out so strongly in my business. That is the defining difference. Those things are great, but if you don't know how to manage and run a team, I could put 1,000 hot leads that came to you from some AI cold calling system. You're probably not going to get diddly squat. And so like the management of a team and having a high performance acquisition team, I just think has never been more important. And I just continue to reap rewards from investing time and energy there. Like literally the work I put forth last month is paying dividends this month. It just always keeps on paying. So I think I still have a lot to learn there and a lot to improve on. And it's funny, most people just suck at that. Most people don't know how to run a team or hire a team or train a team or onboard a team. And in fact, most people, like Rylan, if you were to go and get 20 letters on your properties, I don't know if you've ever done this, right? I'm sure you get some letters on your properties still today, maybe owner finance or what have you. Have you ever tried calling any of those letters?
No.
Dude, the vast majority of these people don't even pick up the phone. In fact, I saw a recent study for house wholesalers that went and looked up everyone that was doing like PPC ads, like Google ads for house wholesalers. 96% of those people that were paying to get in front of you on Google for house wholesaling didn't pick up the phone on the first call. That's crazy. So there's still like so much riffraff in this business as it relates to people just being at the base level of skill for acquisitions. Anyways, I think it's a very exciting time for the business. And even though I don't think Land Insights or any AI tool can remove the need to be great at running a team and mastering acquisitions, I think we're going to release some features this year that are going to be pretty fucking game changing, to be honest. So let's roll into some of the Land Insight stuff. There's been a lot of new stuff that's shipped. And for you guys that don't know, we pretty much ship new features every single week, or bug patches or updates of some kind. It's just like a perpetual wheel that doesn't stop spinning. Development team took some much needed time off during the holidays, so that was like the only exception. But we've come out of the gate swinging this month. One of the really big things that we shipped, though, was now inside of Land Insights for our a la carte data, which everyone has access to, okay? There's no special additional pricing or monthly subscription, standard Land Insights subscription. The a la carte data is at 5 cents a record. That's incredible. I mean, to get that same price on DataTree, I think you're spending, what, $350 or $400 a month? You're getting that same price a la carte and substantially more. And then for everyone that's on the side inside the data platform, you're getting 50% off all the scrub features, including the future scrubs, which we'll talk about today, and free landlocked scrubs as well. So that was a big feature that we shipped. My whole idea has been like, let's continue to get savings just from having more users on the platform, economies of scale, and then hopefully pass off the majority of those to our users. So it's a good example of it. Let's talk about what's in the hopper for this month and this quarter in terms of new features coming. Les, is there anything that you guys want to touch on that was shipped in the last few weeks? Any new changes you guys wanted to touch on? Rylan? No?
Kyle,
you're muted.
Kyle, you're muted.
How about now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to say that, hey, my webcam is my phone, and it just told me it has like low battery. So if it cuts out, I'm sorry. But let me jump into what we got. So yeah, we did drop our a la carte pricing to 5 cents. Super competitive there. We recently in the less data layer, so you can basically see all the sold, active, and pending properties on the map. And we also have a polygon feature that we also released recently. So if you zoom in on a county, and you probably want to go out for the area where there's actually activity, and the areas where there's no activity, you want to cut those out, right? So you can kind of like lasso around what is hot, and then leave out the stuff that's not, so you can be even more efficient with your investing. So I think that's pretty cool. We dropped some keyword keyword filters. So essentially, if you want to target properties that like if you only want to target churches, sometimes churches own land that is adjacent to them and is vacant, you can do that. Or if you wanted to exclude churches because you don't want to go after that, that's okay too. Or maybe there's certain terms that you don't like school district or state of or county of Ohio or whatever it might be. You can kind of include or exclude as you wish. We added a corporate owners filter, so you can remove LLCs. We're literally adding stuff like every week, so it's really hard to remember honestly everything. I actually have to pull it up. So Sumner has it right here. It's a little small on my side. Let me zoom in. All right.
So we've built this thing to be completely integrated with your marketing campaigns. So like prior to Land Insights, when I was exporting out of DataTree, we had to export our data, remove duplicate properties, remove certain keywords like HOA or like fire department, stuff like that. And like we had to build this macro, and it would break all the time, and it would take us forever to like organize all this data for all our marketing campaigns. Now it's literally just like a saved filter. You export it, and you could even just plug it into like Launch Controller, Smarter Contact, and send out a marketing campaign, because we're removing keywords, and we can skip trace as soon as we remove those duplicates and keywords. So it's just like, it's so organized and efficient now. Like our campaigns, like we pull them that morning and they can go out within 30 minutes, which is insane. So it turned from a process that took 3 to 4 hours to a process that takes like 30 minutes now. So my favorite feature is the exclude keyword, because that was what was keeping us from not using that Excel macro anymore. So like we don't even have to manage in Excel anymore. It's just enter your requirements, export, market.
Rylan, do you remember how long it used to take to pull data from DataTree then reformat it just to skip trace it to like direct skip.
It's such a pain in the ass.
It's such a pain in the ass. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's those little small pickups in time that's like, whatever, 6 hours a month from a tiny little feature that just compounds to make you so efficient. People forget, like, if you haven't done that, you don't know what a pain in the ass that was. One of the features that I love too, we've talked about this before. Ryland, I think Ryland might even have coined this himself. I don't know where he learned it, but the whole Google My Maps strategy, it's kind of like an OG. I don't know if anyone really does it anymore, but there's course content in Leo that shows it. Essentially, we have this now, right? All the MLS overlays. But one of the cool things that Kyle just added a couple of weeks ago. So I'm searching here in Teller County. I'm looking at the 5 to 10s. So I have this MLS comp toggle on. And I might not want to look at the onesies and the half acres and the twosies and what have you. So I'll just come in to match my data and say, hey, just show me the 5 to 10s. And now that comp overlay is only going to show me the 5 to 10 acres, which lines up with what I'm exporting. Which is super cool. We also have that, Kyle, you can correct me on the date, but we have that coming out for time frame as well. I think it's this month, correct?
You did.
Kyle.
Sorry, guys. I went to go run to grab a cord, but I heard my name, so I came back. What was the question?
So I was just touching on the MLS comp filter via acreage range. We've got that coming out for time as well. Is that shipping this?
Yeah, probably somewhere around that month. Yeah, or this month. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So super cool feature. Let's touch on what's in the hopper. Kyle, do you want to take the limelight for a second and talk about this month and then maybe even this quarter, what we've got coming out?
Sure. Yeah. So what we've been working on is the owner portfolio. So essentially, when you get a property, maybe under contract, or you're looking at it, or you're just like in the acquisition stage, what do you want to do? You want to go check it out, and you'll pull up our due diligence, and we'll actually tell you, oh, this person actually owns like 12 other properties. You want to take a look at those? So we'll pull up a list, and you can inspect them, and then maybe you might notice that there's some in the same county. Maybe you notice there's some that are at least in the same state. And even if they don't want to do a deal with you on that particular property, you could say, well, what about this? What about that? There's a way of extracting value out of that lead that past that initial no, right? Even if they don't agree to your terms that you make an offer on, you could still prepare offers for the other properties that they have. So we have that coming out probably in this month. I'll just stick to like rough timelines in terms of months.
Let me add on to that portfolio too. What's interesting that we're doing, which I haven't seen in any platform, is we are pulling like the portfolios based on the mailing address and not the name. So if you notice, or like if you're an experienced real estate investor, people own many different LLCs, or people put their names on title in different ways or different formatting. We're matching those based on their mailing address only. We're not matching based on their name, because somebody might have an irrevocable trust, or somebody might own another house that's under the name and another one under an LLC. It's like we can see based on their mailing address. So this is going to be like super ultra predictive of the exact real estate portfolio that they own.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And also things like there's situations where there might be like a wife might own some land, and then a husband might own some land, and then they get married and they jointly own land. You might have mailed the wife. So when you pull her portfolio up, we're actually going to show you the husband's portfolio too, because they live in the same place. Their IRS tax address is the same. So it's basically collected on what is a household, what does this lead's household own, right? Which is kind of a ninja tactic. I feel like there's a lot of, you've already made contact with that lead, but you made them not contact with the other person because of whatever. Their skip trace didn't hit, or they're not the one opening the piece of mail, and the wife didn't think about the husband's land that he got 20 years ago, right? Maybe she may not have even known about it. So that's a really killer feature. Again, coming out pretty soon here this month. Let's see. We got I'm excited about this. I mean, Ral and I have been working on this for quite a while, the DC agent feature. So we're double close feature for new land investors. So you get flowers. This was Ryland's idea. It's a pretty insane idea. Do you want to explain it, Ryan?
So I think one of the most commonly asked questions, if you're in our Discord, is, do you have a realtor in Harrison County, Texas? Do you have a realtor in this county? And nobody ever responds. People are like, "Oh, I have a realtor, but I'm not going to share it with you. I don't want you to start doing deals in my area." So it's always a question that's asked and never responded to. Maybe someone's like actually genuine in response.
There's a lot of genuine folks out there that pay.
There's some genuine people, but some people don't want to give it out. So
not
everyone wants
people as you.
I don't like to personally share my best realtors. Yeah, that's just my thought.
People give it out because I think they also want the brownie points with the realtor. So like they do have an insight. But anyways, yes. I digress.
So anyways, everybody wants a realtor. There's not one place to go that is double close agent specific. So everybody's looking for a double close agent, but they're very hard to get on board with your process. You have to reach out to them cold. So like right now, people are using the realtor report inside Land Insights to get contact information. They reach out cold. They have to explain the whole process to the realtor. The realtor is like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I want to take the risk, list a property that I don't think is going to sell. So we just took the time and found realtors across the entire country, pitched the idea to them, got them on board, and we have a list of agents across the entire country. I think we're at over 100 now, or around 100 agents across the country who all understand the double close process and are all on board with it. And we're going to release that list with their contact information and connect everybody with them. So that's something we've been working on for a long time. It required a lot of phone calls, a lot of reaching out, and we actually implemented a lot of the processes for reaching out to land owners for realtors. So we were literally running marketing campaigns towards realtors to get them on board with this. So it's something I'm really excited about. It took a while. We're finally releasing it.
And for free, of course. That no one has to pay for that. There's no credits involved or anything along those lines. You know, what's funny is when Ryland presented that idea, I don't know, it might have been a year ago, might have been 6 months ago. I can't really tell you. My initial reaction is that sounds impossible. I'm like, there's like, no, we're not doing that. But here we are, we're doing it, and it's pretty much done, and it's being released here shortly, which is pretty cool. And so, yeah, flowers to Ryland for even having the idea and seeing it through. And some of these realtors, you literally need to onboard them and train them on what a double close even is. So there's a lot of nurturing that goes into this, just to even get them to see eye to eye with what we're trying to do. What else is in the hopper, y'all? What else do you guys want to touch on?
Geez, let's see.
Talk about the road frontage scrub coming.
Yeah. So we have road frontage. We're just doing some final testing on that. So guys, one of the things we like to do is we don't just want to build a feature and release it. We want to have data behind it. We want to have some sort of scientific approach of, we know this thing is fairly accurate within a certain degree that's acceptable for land investing. And yeah, I mean, we have 15,000 data points that are going to be labeled essentially by a human. This is exactly how machine learning works, by the way, is you have humans label something and then you make a computer guess what the answer is. And then if it's wrong, you punish it. And then you ask it the question again until it gets it right. So we're kind of doing that with our road frontage system. So we're having a human kind of verifiably tell us how much road frontage this has. So we're using that, and then we're comparing that to our algorithm, and we're going to make sure it's very accurate. So again, we expect to release that probably in the next 2 months, probably sooner. Yeah.
So for everyone too that's curious about scrubbing and improving scrub efficiency, this is what we do anytime we release a new scrub. And this is what we continuously do to improve the scrub. So you'll have the data set through AI. then we cross-reference that to a human data set with manual scrubbing. And we do that in the beginning, but we also have continued to do that. So for example, when we released the landlocked scrub, I might get the math slightly wrong, but out of the box, Kyle, is what, 75% accurate roughly?
Out of the box, yeah.
And we just kept on iterating, and then you have humans that go and do it. And for a human, the accuracy is 99%. It's pretty hard for a human to get it wrong with their manually going through it. And now landlocked scrubbing, what's the accuracy on landlocked scrubbing approximately?
Probably about like 92, 93% around there.
Yeah. So there's so much grunt work that goes to even create these things. And then to make sure that they're actually really accurate is just like a continuous game of grunt work. We could ship the road frontage scrub as it stands now, and it would still be best on market in terms of its efficiency, but we want the highest accuracy possible. So, one of the things that you'll see with us is that, like, yes, we ship at a quick cadence. If you look at it week by week, right? So every week there's new stuff shipping to the platform, but you'll hear us talk about new features, and we work on them for months, even though they exist currently. Like the comping tool exists currently, road frontage scrub exists currently. We could ship it, but our idea is like, let's ship things never half-baked. Like they've got to be as close to perfect as possible. And so we ship a lot of features, but we also take a long time. So stuff that's getting shipped now has been worked on many months prior in most cases, because I'd rather ship something that's really, really effective and really accurate than, here it is, and it's kind of half-baked, because I know what goes into it. The marketing spend, the time of your team. If the data is inaccurate, you've got yourself in a real quagmire, and we're kind of at fault for that. So we want to avoid that as much as possible.
Correct. Yeah. We really care about data accuracy. After all, this is, that's partially what we offer is data and insights. So we want to make sure our insights are correct. So we've been working hard on that, on road frontage, and I have a lot of ideas around road frontage. I'm thinking about, like, we'll launch with total amount of road frontage around the perimeter of the property, but I'm also interested in doing things like contiguous road frontage, like how much actual road frontage is there, like in a continuous way, which is kind of interesting. And there could be other ways, other things that we might do around intelligence, like all the intelligence we have about roads, and like we know what types of roads there are and all sorts of things. So we could really, if you want to target things only on highways, right? Maybe we could do that, or things only on county roads, things like that. So there's a lot of ways we can slice and dice the data. So as you guys play with it and have ideas and have new strategies, let us know, and we can add that in over time.
Yeah. Speaking of that, guys, for everyone that's still on this live stream, looks like there's 24 people here. Can you guys do me a favor? Inside the chat, I've actually got two favors to ask. Inside the chat, what's the number one feature you guys want to see in Land Insights this year? What's like the one kill shot feature for you that you feel like would just change your business? Put it inside the chat. I want to see. The second thing is, please make my mom happy. Give this video a thumbs up. If she looks at this video and it's got 3 likes, she's going to be pissed. So do it for Kyle. Now, give it a thumbs up, guys. It really does help. I never asked for it, and all the YouTube coaches are like, you got to ask for a thumbs up at the beginning of the video. So here I am asking for a thumbs up. Can you please give it a like? Would be much appreciated. So Matt Pallardy, comping, JD Holland, comping. Matt, I got a quick question for you, Matt. Put inside the channel or the chat, Matt, how many deals or contracts do you have? I want to tell a quick story. So Matt was my first deal funder ever. Okay, I met Matt maybe 3.5, 4 years ago. I can't remember. Yeah, 4 years ago at least, actually, during COVID. And he owned a gym in San Diego. Ended up being my first deal funder. If you guys Google Matt Pallardy's name, you'll see some very funny stuff that comes up. He fought the good fight during COVID, keeping his gym open. It's crazy. He was like getting roasted on like major news channels and stuff like that. Was my first deal funder. Quickly started making more funding deals and even running the gym. And so got deeper into it. And I think maybe like 1.5 years ago, he got his cousin and his brother into the land business. So they were running it. And he was still very much in the background, just kind of funding their deals. And then he came to the Leah Mastermind this year. And he's like, dude, I've seen this business play out time and time again for other people. Funding deals is awesome, but like, why don't I just do this myself? And he came back from that mastermind. I forget what he texted me, but it was something preposterous how many deals he had gotten, contracts. Contracts still alive are the ones that have already died out as well. Just give me the total contract signed and then however many you're moving forward with that. It was pretty incredible to see like the turnaround time from the mastermind to he texted me like 2 weeks later, like I've got 7 contracts signed or something ridiculous like that. So Matt, let me know inside the chat. I'd love to know. All right, so I'm going to read these. AI structure scrub before exporting since it doesn't get recorded most of the time data. Sorry, but got to go to the comp. Okay, Kyle, do you want to talk about what Jeremy referenced? And then
yeah,
Ryan.
Here, let me read it real quick. I can't read as fast as Sumner. I can't read 4,000 words a minute. AI scrub before exporting since yes. So we actually Sumner, Ryan and I were talking about this on our kind of like internal founders call this week. So yeah, I mean, we have the building, we have all the AI building data. We're actually working on that. This week, an engineer inside of our team was working on that. We were kind of thinking that would be a scrub, but I don't know, guys. I think we're more thinking of just having like a free filter. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So just kind of a filter. So you'll just, just like most things in Land Insights data platform, you type it in, and then like a second later, it comes back with the filter down results. So we're working on that for sure. And so we're working on some details on how that's going to work. There's different ways we could look at it, but I'm kind of thinking in terms of like an AI vacancy filter might be the way to frame it. So you can just like click it on and then it'll just say, yeah, there's like not a lot of buildings on this. Like it's okay with like small trailers or RVs, like things that are just kind of left over. That's still a great property to purchase, but we don't want any houses. We don't really want any, kind of like substantial structures. So it's going to be a mix between what the county thinks and then what we think. Sometimes certain counties have like trash data and we need to enhance it, which we do from time to time. But yeah, this is going to kind of work across the United States. So yeah, it's a good idea, Jeremy. It's something we want to. So we're working on it. Probably have something, into Q1, maybe earlier.
Super cool. Yeah, super cool. One thing I just want to share. So I teased this at the beginning of the call about a guy in Leah and a Land Insights user that's making 400K this month. Well, he came out of the bag and shared it in here. So it's Benji, $400,000 in gross profit this month. Freaking bonkers. Wish Ben some safety and send some good thoughts and prayers his way. They had to evacuate because of the fire in LA, which is some crazy stuff going on out there. But yeah, the mystery man was Benji. I didn't want to spill the beans without his permission, but 400K in January. It's a hell of a way to start off the new year. So yeah, that AI vacancy or building scrub, it's not even going to be a scrub. It's just a free overlay that we're adding on top. The problem is like some of the data that you get directly from the county is not good. And so it requires kind of additional oversight on our side to make sure that you're avoiding properties that you wouldn't want to pursue because they do have structures, but you're not seeing it in the assessment, yada, yada, yada. Matt says, okay, this is crazy. So after the Leah event, okay, Matt doesn't have a team. After the Leah event, he got 25 contracts signed. 4 deals purchased so far, closing on 2 more next Friday, and then 6 more still in the pipeline that we may or may not close on.
Dang.
Dude, let's
go, Matt.
Let's
awesome.
go. What's so funny is literally almost, I mean, this is not entirely true. There's definitely people that aren't, but such a large chunk of my friends have gotten into the land business. It's just so strange. I never would have foreseen it ever happening, but I'm pretty sure all of my friends are going to be land investors in the next 5 years. It's pretty hilarious. Well, that's awesome, Matt. Those are some crazy numbers. So let me go through. It looks like comping was the biggest one, and actually Jerry brought up a really good point that I'm gonna star this because I like this. I put it here. PPA delta from large acreage to small acreage. So inside of Leah, we talk about the delta from median price points or what have you, or from the low to high price points. But it'd be cool to see that delta for different acreage ranges as well. So, okay, there's a 300% difference from 5 acres to 50 acres or what have you. That would be in the market selection side. That's a great idea, Jeremy, or Jerry. Sorry, I was reading Jeremy's name at the same time. Holy shit. Caleb did 20 million in e-com the last few years. Holy
Jeez.
smokes, Caleb. Caleb, what are you selling, man? That's bonkers. Okay, so that 20, that's fucking insane, Caleb. What the hell? I don't know. 20 million of anything is that's a lot of dough, my friend. I know margins aren't great in e-com typically, but still that's freaking awesome. Anything else you guys want to touch on the Land Insight side?
Shoot. I'm just looking at our roadmap here. I'm just scrolling down the list.
Can we talk about the mailer stuff, Kyle?
Sure.
Is that okay? Do you feel comfortable with it?
The only thing that comes to mind is if we share, then yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably scarcity mindset. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll put it out there. Again, I've said it time and time again. There's a bunch of small boys, soft boys, dough boys that just love to watch what we do and try to copy. They never execute at the same level. They're always half-baked, but I swear to goodness, these people can't think for themselves. They literally just watch these YouTube videos, write down, okay, this is what they're working on. I'm going to release it before them, but it's always half-baked. So I'll put the cat out of the bag. I don't believe in scarcity. On top of the comping tool, one of the things that we have coming out early this year is our mailer pricing tool as well. It already exists. It's already built. It's already pretty impressive what Kyle's put together. That's being added into Land Insights this year as well. So that's going to put you, I mean, that literally changes the business in a very big way. Now, there's been a lot of real half-baked that already exist. One of the first person to come up with this idea. I've never liked the concept until I saw what Kyle was working on. And I'll say it's like what Kyle has built is it's the perfect happy medium of automation with still user discretion. A lot of them don't give you the same ability to have discretion on the pricing. This is the perfect marrying of those concepts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still human input, which is what makes it valuable, because no algorithm can make your pricing perfect without human oversight currently. But the way it does it is so cool. It's a really cool idea, and it's I've never seen it skinned like this before. I don't think anything like this exists the way it's gone about.
It's very visually pleasing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I made it for myself because I wanted something very intuitive.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing is like you can look at a county and intuitively know how to price it, and it's visual, and yeah, it's so simple. Like I've showed it to a couple people and they're like, dude, like this is almost too easy. Like
it's almost shocking that no one else has had the idea. Imagine imagine like a visualization on pricing built for a 5-year-old. Like it's that simple to know exactly where you should price, and it's all visualized. It's crazy. And yet you still get to have your own input to make sure it's accurate. It's such a ridiculous feature. Like there are some features which, again, we continue to release them. And I think a lot of cases, our inclinations might be wrong here. But there are some features where I'm like, is this just going to break the land business? And this is one of them where I'm like, let's just actually remove the arbitrage because it's too easy. So, yeah. Jeremy says, oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, potentially it could break it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Jeremy says, next question for a feature, given that could we integrate the mailer pricing tool into a texting platform? We got a very interesting phone call today about a partnership, which I guess we have a call with them on Monday. So yeah, maybe it could be a world. There's some overlap going on potentially with some texting platforms that could make things pretty interesting. So Jeremy, we'll report back to that. Yeah. All right. Let's we're coming up on time. I have a hard stop at 9 a.m. my time. I got a call with the other part of the Land Insights team after this. I want to end on some value, whether you're a Land Insights user or not. Let's just go through and just briefly touch on, as we see it, what are the things that people on this call need to focus on to have the best year of their life in the land business, whether they're brand new or they're advanced. As we see it, what are the things that matter this year?
Acquisitions. completely acquisition oriented. If you cannot sell yourself, or you can't build a team that can sell and acquire properties, convince landowners that they need to sell to you, and if you're not following up on time with effort, you can't run a business. You can spend all this time like with data, building out the best offer for your mailer, using the best software, scrubbing your data. But if you're not picking up the phone or you're not following up on time, there's tons of other land investors out there that's going to take that deal right from under you. It's about speed to lead, and it's about quality conversations. And that's what it comes down to. This is a selling business. Like, land is all sales. Real estate is all sales. It's all about building personal connections with your landowners. And if you're not building those connections and you're not following up with them, you're not going to have a deal. So I think that's what a lot of people are missing. Me personally, like, I'm a very introverted person when it comes to sales. And I had to learn, like, I struggled when I began my land business. And as soon as I like had the balls to build a good follow-up process, pick up the phone, make these sales, that's when my business grew. And the same thing happened when I was building my team. My team, they weren't following the right processes. Maybe I made a couple bad hires. And as soon as I had absolute killers on the phones that were following a strict regimen of follow-up, we started doing really well. That's why you hear me saying I'm getting 2 contracts a day. There's not that many people getting 2 contracts a day in their land business. And it all comes down to sales. And obviously, like software and everything, it has to do with the business. But this is like connecting the dots by running that acquisition team.
So yeah, it's funny. I've been saying this for a few years, and there's like who here on this call has heard people talking heads say that the land business is a marketing and sales business? Everyone says that. I think it's a market selection and sales business. That's it. The marketing, like how you get in touch with these, it doesn't really matter. How you get an inbound lead or how you go outbound to them, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's, are you working in the right places? And then once you have a lead come into your CRM, the 2 things that matter is your acquisition process and your acquisition skill. And most people are so god awful at both of those. It's incredible. And that's why there's so much to be gained there. But yeah, what Rylan is saying is like, you've got to make personal connections, right? You talk to these people like you're their neighbor. It's a human to human conversation, but that's not enough. It's, what do you do when a lead comes in and they don't pick up on day 1? When do you make your first offer to them? Are you waiting 7 days to make that first offer? That's a problem. What do you do once you make the offer? What do you do once you send a contract? What do you do when the contract's been pending for 10 days and no one signed it? You need a process around all of that maximizes the percentages there, maximizes our answer rate, or, all of it. Everything's got to be at the upper echelon in terms of the highest percentage that we can get. And that most of that comes from your acquisition process. One thing that I want to add on that I think is very important this year, and this is where, like, when I say it's a market selection and it's a sales business, this is what I mean. So I've seen this just in the land business in general, and I've been seeing it a lot more inside of Land Insights, and it really pisses me off, to be honest. Okay, so first off, let me back up. Everything in this business is arbitrage, as we know. We're arbitraging essentially information kind of at the core of it. It's really what we're doing across the board. But there's really no arbitrage to be had by working in obvious hot markets. So I see folks that say, Atlanta's hot. Let me grab the counties outside of Atlanta. Or I'm going to go up here. Fayetteville is hot. Charlotte's hot. And they're grabbing all of these obvious hot counties. But there's not really that much arbitrage there. You can still get deals, but it is a lot harder. And so through Land Insights or doing it manually, what matters this year and beyond is, can I find non-obvious high liquidity markets? There's a lot of demand there, but no one else is seeing that. We're arbitraging that information. That's the core benefit of what Land Insights started as, but some folks still don't see it as that. And that's a problem. You come on here and you see this heat map and people glom onto what looks like the hottest county for the entire US. But if that's an obvious place, you don't even need Land Insights to know that. And everyone else is thinking the same thing. And I've seen a lot of these markets that are tertiary to a hot metropolitan area are picked the heck over. And it's not even just from other land investors, it's from developers and realtors. And it's just like, you can get deals there. It's just a lot harder. And so I want to find the off the beaten path markets that have a lot of liquidity where I can sell my properties quickly. And if you compare that with a great acquisition process and skill, it's lights out. Like the business is on easy mode at that point. So I think that's really, really important this year. One of the things too that we can't forget about acquisitions too is you could be like Rylan and be an introvert, and you probably need to hire someone pretty quickly. Or you could be great on the phones, but you want to scale past 3 contracts or 5 contracts a month. At a certain point, you need to get really good at sourcing quality talent. This is a people business, and like the people business also applies to the team that you keep within your business and how you find them and train them and incentivize them. And so that's a huge skill to be gained. I know there's a lot of folks on this call that the big thing for them this year is building a team. And so, yeah, you need to get really good at that. Kyle and Rylan, you guys have seen this play out, and I think this is an interesting point, and it's pretty exciting. I've talked about this before. We're doing like a very weird format where Rylan and I fluctuate as CEO of Land Insights every quarter. It's very non-traditional, but we obviously own other businesses outside of this, so it's just what's practical for us. And so I came in December. The uptick in call volume and sales and all that stuff is really an emulation of the same exact process that we run in our land business, same exact process inside of Leah. There's a format, there's like a code to the matrix that once you understand it, it's applicable in any other business. And if you come from another business that's sales heavy, you're going to do really well in the land business. It's just the same shit. And so once you know that, you get to see behind the curtains, and it's such a powerful skill to develop. One thing that I'll share, I don't know if this is like super important for this year, but I don't really think hardly anyone does it. And I do it every year, and every year I get deeper and deeper into it. I call it doing like an 80-20 analysis on our deals from the year prior. Call it whatever you want. But I recommend go through all of your deals, figure out what were the commonalities. What counties made you the most money? What size made you the most money? What price points made you the most money? What dispo channels made you the most money? What kind of sellers, like what kind of sellers were you working with? What were the age? What was the gender? Like all of that. Start to understand the profile of who you do business with and where you do the most business and what makes you the most money. And what's funny too is you'll see that really that 80-20 math is pretty accurate in terms of what actually drives home most of your profit. In fact, usually it's less than 20% drives like, 80 plus 90+% of your profit. And there's commonalities there. And so start to understand that, get more efficient with your marketing dollars. Yeah. Kyle, anything you want to add?
No, I think you guys covered it. I mean, this is mostly a sales business. And if you just study like general pipeline management, follow-up strategies, pull ideas from different places, you can kind of create a good process. So.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Anything else, Rylan, you want to share? Rylan, do you want to share your top performing county and give it away to people?
Costilla County, Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, mine, dude.
Let me look at the chat here. So first mailer is going out next week. I'm pumped. Land Insights is crazy. I'm excited for the coming updates. Thank you, Chris. Much love. Appreciate it. Of the 2 contracts today, how many are reaching the closing table? I think Rylan said 30 to 40%, right?
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. 20 to 30%.
Jerry says the real question is where? Facts. Matt, the first county I texted is one of the hottest counties in the country, and it was a disaster. I can vouch for what you're saying here. Yes, I've seen literally tens of thousands of markets from deal submissions or market submissions or inside of Land Insights, inside of our own business. I have a really good understanding of like the archetype of a winning county and a bad county. And I would rather actually work in a low demand, shitty county that no one knows about than a high demand, obvious county. There's such a big disparity there. And again, I don't think it's just land investors ruining that. They're getting hit from every angle. The information arbitrage is very low there. Those sellers are very savvy because they're getting cold calls from realtors saying, I can list your property for 200 grand. They're getting developers trying to do new home builds or entitle it or whatever. They know what they got. So you're really just playing the game of extreme distress. But then other land investors are going after that too. So it's just a cutthroat game that's still profitable, don't get me wrong, but it's lower efficiency for your marketing dollars. Jerry says Mojave County. Yeah, my biggest recommendation, make sure you guys are spending time in Mojave County and Costilla County this year, okay? You go work there for 3 months, you're guaranteed to come and join Leah. You'll say, I need a little bit of there's a funnel for us. Anyways, guys, please give this video a thumbs up. It means a lot if you guys like these, so I can ensure Kyle and Rylan keep on showing up to these every month. Makes it worth their while. So give it some love. Thumbs up, please. And if you guys want 1,000+ free hot seller leads, go to landinsights.co/apply. No strings attached. This isn't a hardcore sales call. We'll literally demonstrate the platform for you, pull the data in real time, scrub the data in real time, and give it to you on a silver platter. What you do from there is your choice. Okay. It's up to you. I think at the end of that call, you'll probably see the light at the end of the tunnel and understand why literally dozens of people join Land Insights every month is because it's pretty insane and it's a game changer for this business. Peter, 100% in hot counties, near cities, even developers and agents are making it there. Yeah, 100%. All right, y'all. Let's wrap up here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Looks like we already lost Rylan. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Take care of yourself. We've got Rylan coming up to Bali, I think in the next week or so. So he'll be up here in person. I'm sure we'll do a podcast or something like that live in person. Anyways, guys, take care. Talk soon. Cheers.
All right. Later,
Hey,
guys.
guys.